At this time, I'd like to call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting for the Village of Peotone, June 23rd, 2014. Village Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Riker.
Here.
Mr. Hupkey.
Here.
Mr. Wicker.
Here.
Mr. Hack. Mr. Callahan. Mr. Forsythe.
Here. Trustees, in your packets, you have the minutes for the May 12th, 2014 Committee of the Whole meeting. At this time, if there is no corrections or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Trustee Hupkey, second by Trustee Wicker.
Ready?
Yep.
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Riker.
Yes.
Mr. Forsythe.
Yes. At this point of our meeting, it is open for the public comment. Seeing that there's no public here, trustees, at this time, if there's any general discussion, thought, questions, or concerns you guys have or wish to discuss, the floor is yours. George, I know I asked you earlier, this is for the public, or the people of Peotone. Well, where do we stand with the sidewalk plans for Wilmington Road?
Okay, thank you. I submitted the completed grant application a day or two after the board approved it. It is at Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, CO. They're the administrators for that grant, and we're waiting for an executed grant agreement to come back to us before we can spend money.
Thank you.
We're leaning forward. We've contacted the County Highway Department to interface with them. We've had all the, Mr. Golem did that for us. We've had all the conversations we've had with them until we get, start getting into the engineering of it. But the initial comment is they have no problems, assuming we accept responsibility for it.
Update on the signage.
Talked to FS last week. They have a board meeting tomorrow night, and they'll be hopefully approving the easement, and we'll bring it to the village board. Trustees, in your packet, just for your looking forward, there's a memo about STP funding, Surface Transportation Plan funding. There's a call for projects every 3 or 4 years from the Will County Government League. This is the same funding source we used to do Rathje Road. Okay. The call for projects says we have to submit a preliminary application by August 1st. So at the next meeting, we'll be discussing a couple of projects. The roads have to be FAU roads.
It's Corning and
Which
Ratchy.
is Corning and Rathje.
Is that the second phase of Ratchy?
Yes, it is, sir. The preliminary engineering is already complete on that, so that would save us both some time and money. We'll have an in-depth conversation about that at the next board meeting. I'm sure Mr. Gollum will have some things to say about that at that point in time, but you do have some information to be looking forward. If you have any questions, let me know.
The sign you were talking about, is that like for welcome to Peotone sign?
Yeah.
And for the location off the
When's the last time we had our storm stores checked? Because
Sorry?
I had water over the weekend. And my neighbor had it, 3 neighbors had it. I don't know if it's a case of, maybe I should have another, sump pump. I have 2 of them, but I'll tell you, we had 4.5 inches of rain, and I just couldn't handle it. So, when is the last time we had any, Donna wouldn't know more than I would, last time we did anything with the sewers? I know we had a bad rain about 20-some years ago. That's when we did some work, but God, this is terrible.
When it comes down that fast
Yeah.
in that amount,
Just can't
there's just
handle it.
nowhere for it to go. I know they go around cleaning out like the catch basins and stuff like that to make sure nothing clogs up.
I understand that, but boy, oh, what a mess. If, I can't say Tom, but have Bob check it, or both Bobs.
And I know, George, on Howard Street, that sewer at the bottom of the street overflowed again with all of the debris that
Okay.
comes with the sewer. For those of you that don't know, at the end of Howard Street, where it dead ends into the cornfield, it's a very low point, and I think we have a lift station right there. But whenever there's a really heavy rain, historically, the sewer, not the rain pipes, the sewer will overflow in the parkway immediately adjacent to the last house there. And if it's the sewer, you can imagine what's coming out with it. And this comes out in the front yard again and again. And I know we've taken some kind of remedial action, but on Saturday it happened
Okay.
again.
I know we've installed some equipment. I'll see if we have to make sure it's operating correctly. If it's not, well, then we'll put something else in.
We had issues with the sump pumps going into storm sewers in that subdivision, right?
Yes, we do. That's part of the problem. Because we've televised the majority of that, and the village's pipes have been sealed or inspected. The majority of the problem is illegal connections to the
Yeah, we got a
sanitary
storm sewer for that, but not the sewer.
Anybody else?
George, I'll put you on the spot. And I mentioned it before, and I'm really more inquiring than anything, but I mentioned the water supply pipes over there behind Rathje in that subdivision between Casey's General Store and Rathje Road. And you'd mentioned earlier that the developer several decades ago built the subdivision with 3/4 inch pipe as opposed to full 1 inch water supply pipe. Does it ring a bell or no? I'm sorry. if
For
it's
the
not ringing a
subdivision,
bell.
for service lines?
Right, for
Okay.
the supply lines. And I'd mentioned that I'd had some conversations with people over there, and I want to say 9 or 10 people at this point have replaced their water supply lines because they're of inadequate size where they just solidify over the years to the point that they can't get supply to their house. And my understanding, whether it's legal or just something people talk about, is that generally the homeowner is responsible from the Buffalo box to the house, and the village is responsible from the main to the Buffalo box. And I was just inquiring into that because I guess that most of these people in these homes have replaced the pipes all the way from the house to the main. And, I mean, if that's the standard, that's the standard. But I was curious about that because I'd always heard it's box to house as homeowner and then main to box as village.
In some villages, that's the policy. In Peotone, it is the policy that the homeowner is responsible to the main.
Okay.
So it's from the home to the Buffalo box to the main is the homeowner's responsibility.
Okay. And is that something, has it always been that way as far as you know? Or
As
is it
far as I
something-
know, yes.
Okay, that's just the way it's been.
It goes,
Okay,
it's a few decades anyway.
all right.
That's the one you mentioned, that's where the contractor,
Right,
which he's probably dead by now, but
right,
he's the one that screwed up.
exactly. And I think it may have even been to code, if there even was one back when they built them in the 50s, but it just turns out that was inadequate, so,
Yeah.
okay,
And that's no longer permitted, so.
okay.
At this point, at 6:10 PM, there's still no one here from the public for the public comment portion of this meeting. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, second by trustee Callahan. Donna?
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Callahan.
Yes.
Mr. Riker.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Forsyth.
Yes.